Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play The Pillars of the Earth. Last time, we went searching for a book for Aliena, and we're still looking. Not too much is happening. Assassin had some funny moments before. Miji's still down there, he's really upset.
Heathens! All of you! I better stay away from the window before I get in trouble too.
So yeah, I'm guessing that if you'd come in here while Remigius was here, he would have just kicked you out. Alright. Very focused or just afraid? I should take a break.
Hey, can I read what you're working on?
No, Remigius will get angry if I don't finish this.
What he's doing this reminds me of a game called Beyond Atlantis. Well, it's the sequel to a game that is just called Atlantis, and it's called Beyond Atlantis. And you start off as a monk who's actually writing and illustrating just like this. We don't start off like that. That's one of the characters you play. It's a complicated game, and it's a weird one. Working hard, I should relax. At least while Remigius is gone. Yeah.
What are you working on?
Go away. I have to focus.
Yikes. They're really scared of him. That shouldn't be the case, but yeah, I've worked under people like that just kind of are on you all the time. Good guy, a monk but a friend. Maybe he can help us.
What is it that you're working on?
I'm copying pages of the book Prior Philip wrote. We finished the original last year.
I didn't know he wrote a book.
Not many know of it. The content is...
He's critical of the church and bishops. After his experience with Bishop Waleran, he studied about what he calls Judicia Cleri.
Judicia Cleri? The judgments of the clergy?
Yes.
Where'd you go with the Latin?
In the past, there were many cruel tests that were made to discover whether a man was guilty or not. The Lord was to judge them. These ordeals were called Judicium Dei, the judgment of God. Some had to hold burning iron in their bare hands. Others were drowned. Some were burned on the pyre. And if they were innocent, God would save them.
There'd be no martyrs if that were true. Even Adolphus would have been saved.
Yes. God works in mysterious ways. The prior wants these horrible ordeals to become a thing of the past. For cruelty only leads to more cruelty.
But I heard of miracles. Saints that survived burnings.
True. However, Prior Philip believes these were not judgments of God, but judgments of the clergy.
Judicia Cleri.
Yes! Stories and fake ordeals to redeem friends and allies of the clergy.
Fake miracles. By the church? Ooh, that sounds like Philip is asking for trouble. Whoever is accused of fakery and heresy will not be likely to respond well to that.
But we believe Philip is right.
This is the second millennium. We must finally learn from past mistakes.
True, true. Let's book the Justice of the Church. Philip's book, The Justice of the Church, written in 1140, written in Latin, Philip's book is copied by the scribes and illuminators of Kingsbridge and has found its way into the larger libraries of England and Normandy. It is mostly read in the higher circles of the clergy because its content is of a complicated and delicate nature. In his book, Philip writes critically about ordeals by fire, water, and other means. For centuries, the official purpose of these ordeals was to decided whether... Two typos in a row. Was to decided whether, oh my gosh, a man or a woman was guilty or not. According to the clergy, if someone was not guilty, he or she would be saved by God from a cruel and certain death. Prior Philip writes that the Lord simply cannot be summoned by man, not even by the Pope, to pass judgment. Man must serve the Lord does not serve man. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. God's not going to come down and perform miracles at the whims of men. Philip believes that miracles that have happened during these ordeals were nothing but lies to protect and exonerate members of the allies of the clergy. Members and allies of the clergy. Enemies of the clergy, on the other hand, were killed or seriously hurt and disgraced. Furthermore, Philip writes, the suffering of the martyrs of the past proves... Again, another typer. Past proofs. Who wrote this? God is not simply saving people from burning or drowning. According to Philip, these ordeals must be stopped at all costs. Not to mention the complete lack of commas here. Just remind me of some papers I've tutored in the past. Although this is a lot better written than those. Alright. So yeah, that is some interesting stuff. Works just like the government.
I'm looking for a book by Ovid.
Oh, we saw some in Shiring and in Winchester.
There are also a few copies in Salisbury, I believe. Which ones are you looking for?
The Amores?
Have you heard of that? That was one of the copies in Winchester, I think. Did you read it?
Me? I don't remember.
He did.
Just a page or two.
Sounds like the right book. And Winchester's not far. I should tell Ali what I found out.
Alright. A copy of the Moors in Winchester. And I'm guessing monks aren't allowed to read such worldly books as that. So many stories, so much wisdom. Much of them more interesting than the Bible.
There are many I've not read. Most of them, actually.
I don't think the Bible was meant to be interesting. It was meant to be something else. So many stories.
If only I had more time to read.
Alright, let's go find Aliena.
No, so right.
Well, first, let's go down here.
Then you should know better.
Wait, did I already come down here before? I know I knocked that wasp. Yeah, I did. Okay. Still don't know why we have a handful of ants, but oh well. We probably could have gone to the front the other way, but oh well. Luckily we have double click on our side. And where's Aliena? Well, there's Philip. Read his Bible twice. Still like my books better. Won't tell him. Such a stoic environment like this, I'm not sure something like the Bible really helps much.
Are you
with
alright? Is something
improve
troubling
things.
The Priory does not have the money to pay the workers early and to spend more on building materials. Not even if we sell all our wool at the Fleece Fair in Shiring.
Oh, that is a problem.
Of course that's a problem. Jack, please.
Okay, jeez. Anyway, I guess Alien is in our house.
Come on, Jonathan. Let's tell Ali what I found out.
Yeah, look at this nice house she has. She has done well for herself. Oh, that's a fat little kitty.
Ranulph of Chester and his half-brothers stole Lincoln Castle from Stephen.
Hey, it's Richard.
At least this is a chance for us to take it back.
For us? Who is us? The whole of England is strangled by new taxes and torn apart by this senseless quarrelling.
Senseless quarrelling? You still think I'm just playing around?
No.
I put my life at risk, Ali, for you and me. This isn't a game.
I know that.
Do you? It's an honor to be one of the King's Knights.
An honor that costs a lot of money.
Oh, now you broke it, Jonathan.
There's someone at the door. I'll be right back.
Ah, she knows who it is.
Oh. Go play.
Jack.
Hey.
So,
Yes.
what brings you here?
Do you have a visitor? Let's try to be considerate
Do you
here.
have a visitor?
Are you jealous?
Everything all right there?
Not what I meant.
Yes, it will just take a minute. Sorry, but my brother is waiting. He has to ride back to Shiring soon.
Ah, I see. All right. I just wanted to tell you that I found out about the book.
What book?
Oh, come on.
Oh, Ovid. You were still looking for that.
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. It just feels like there are so many problems right now at the construction site. That reminds me. Could you tell Philip that I've come up with an idea how he can pay the workers?
Oh. How?
I'll buy up all of his wool and sell it on the fleece fair myself. But I need to go to Shiring first and get the money.
All right. I'll tell him. By the way, they have a copy of the Amores in Winchester.
Oh? I think I know someone who might be able to get it. But first we need to make sure Philip gets his money and talks to Percy.
Who?
Percy Hamley, the Earl.
Percy Hamley, the fat oaf.
Congratulations, everybody heard you.
So what? They're all bastards.
Can't blame him.
I think I should be going.
Ah, all right. See you later, Jack?
Of course.
Bastards.
You're gonna have to forget that word really quick, little brother.
Oh, too good. I like
So for
Jonathan.
them you got money, Ali?
So you were eavesdropping on me. Great. That deal with Philip will help them and us, Richard.
Robert of Gloucester is advancing on Lincoln as we speak. Tomorrow we will ride from Shiring. And what I need from you is money for a new sword and a gambeson. And I want my shield painted in Stephen's colours.
Is this leading anywhere, Richard? You've been doing this for years now, and has the king ever considered making you Earl of Shiring?
Not yet. But I fought side by side with him before. He knows my name, Ali.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, all right. I will meet you in Shiring, and I'll bring the money.
This is what happens when you get rich and successful. All of a sudden, everyone wants stuff from you and try to guilt you into giving it to them.
Father Philip,
Yes?
Aliena says you can pay your workers. She has enough money to buy up all the Priory's wool and sell it in Shiring. And that way, you get your money earlier.
Really?
But you have to accompany her to Shiring. She has to fetch the money first.
The sooner the better. I have to talk to Percy Hamley anyway. Thank you, Jack. Now you better get back to work. Tom wanted to talk to you.
Don't you hate hearing those words? Alright. It's probably inside. Might be about what we wrote in the dirt.
Once the west side and its towers rise above the Priory, it'll be even more impressive. Only a few more years. What I'd give to build at least one of the towers.
Will he get the chance?
Yeah, if I talk to Tom now, he'll insist I stay at the construction site and work. Am I really done out here?
So yeah, this is in case you want to finish up anything, like getting those wasp nests, but I don't see anything else we need to do out here.
Jack!
What?
Come here, please. You wanted to finish your Corbel, and I let you. But you didn't even try.
I wanted to.
Instead, you pick another fight with Alfred. You mock him in front of others because he can't read. And don't tell me he started it, because everyone else told me you started the fight. Sub-Prior and me just told me you disturbed the monks in the scriptorium.
Philip told me to practice reading.
The Bible, not the kind of book you were looking for. Then you go and waste your time in the cemetery and the market, and in the kitchen, and chatting to the Fullers.
I wanted to help them.
You should have been working instead. Don't you know how close we are to shutting down the construction? If I'd not planned ahead, it would all be over now. But how am I to plan ahead if I can't rely on you, Jack?
What? Watch out! Whoa.
Are you all right?
Yes.
Up here! Hey, hurry up, quick!
Jeez, what the heck happened?
What's going on here?
Your son thinks I dropped the stones.
You were the one who pulled them up, weren't you?
Of course. That is my job.
He was probably angry because he might not get paid.
Alfred, stop it.
What?
Peter, what happened?
I'm not sure. But there was a monk. He was wearing a black robe. And when he saw me looking at him, he ran away. Maybe it was him.
A black robe? Are you saying this was my fault?
No, no. I'm sure I didn't recognize him. He wasn't from here.
And remember, the
No.
Cantor is Ken
Peter
Follett.
dropped the stone and doesn't want to admit it.
I assure you, a monk would never do such a thing.
I saw a monk in black in the market.
Oh, did you? I was there too when you were. Tell us, what did he do when you saw him?
That was
He
it.
broke a big jug.
That wasn't a monk. I was there. That never happened.
Maybe I remembered it wrong.
Jack, take the rest of the day off.
Did I see
I don't
a
want you two to
monk in
get into
black?
another fight.
What about the monk?
We don't know that there was a monk.
Accidents happen. We'll check all the ropes to make sure there won't be another one.
Letter from Gloucester. Let's see. Dated 1 February 1141, Philip of Gwynedd. Regarding your question concerning your brother Francis, I regret to tell you that he has not been seen in our diocese for over 5 years. I believe this to be due to his work for Robert of Gloucester. After making an inquiry at Robert's court, I found that his scribes were sworn to secrecy. Oh, hiccup, and cannot answer our request. These times of war are times of secrecy. I have faith that your brother Francis is well and working hard to support Earl Robert in his quest. I pray that his fight for the throne in the name of his sister Maud will be fruitful and bring an end to the anarchy. We are all aware of the wonderful work you are doing in Kingsbridge. Your Saint Adolphus is well known even in the Holy Roman Empire now. Sir Prior Sebastian, Priory of Gloucester.
Excuse me, Philip? Philip?
I'm sorry.
Is everything all right?
I was just thinking about my brother. What is it?
Aliena is ready to go to Shiring with you.
Then I must not keep her waiting.
Oh, we're back as Philip.
As we rode, Aliena expressed relief that Percy Hamley held court in Shiring Town during the Fleece Fair, and not in her father's castle. I had not yet confessed to Aliena that I blamed myself for her father's fate. I felt the guilt and shame starting to rise when we came to a large group of peasants looking as desperate as the refugees that had come from Earl's Castle back then.
So yeah, remember Philip was the one who brought a letter from Earl Stephen to the attention of the church. A letter that was going to go against... wait, no, it wasn't Earl Stephen. It was the letter against King Stephen from the Earl, whose name I'm not remembering. And that's kind of what brought about the Hamleys going in and ransacking the place and taking it over. So you talk to peasants.
Philip stopped to talk to the peasants, and so did I. Of course, he couldn't pass by people in need of help. Not even when he was on his way to try and save Kingsbridge from another attack by the Hamleys. Two of the peasants broke into tears and begged for food. Philip was mortified as they grabbed the hem of his robe and pleaded for mercy.
Yikes.
They said they were from Wigley. They had illegally erected a mill and hadn't paid taxes to the Earl of Shiring for grinding flour. I bit my lip when they mentioned the title that used to belong to my father. As punishment, the Earl had destroyed their mill. Philip seemed unsure what to say about Percy Hamley's punishment for these peasants. I was less hesitant.
Yeah, so here's something that is true BS. Back in this time, in this particular part of the world, it was required by law that you use the mill of the Earl or King or whoever's in charge. You could not grind your own flour, not even with just a rock. You have to pay them to use their mill or nothing. It's just, I remember reading that part in the book and I was just so angry that that was the case. An Earl has to show understanding, an Earl has to punish thieves. Come on,
I asked why they'd built an illegal mill. The peasants told us that milling taxes had doubled in their village. The peasants shouted and cried that the Earl had also burnt their fields, destroyed their houses, and taken their livestock from them. A few of them had even been killed. Philip told them to go to Kingsbridge for food. As we rode on, he said nothing. Maybe he had begun to lose hope that he would ever solve his problems with the Earl in Shiring.
I had never trusted the Hamleys, but it seemed I had grown careless over the years. They had thus far kept their word to King Stephen, but now I felt I should have known that they would eventually break it. As I was thinking these grim thoughts, we passed by a gallows with two men dangling by their necks. An old woman stood by one of the corpses and snarled at us.
Eesh.
The old woman looked at us like a cornered animal. Philip demanded to know what had happened. She cackled and shook her head. She continued looking through the dead men's clothes. She'd already taken off their shoes and found a couple of coins on one of the corpses. Only now I realized that someone had tied foxtails to the corpses. Their hands had been cut off and their faces were burnt.
What is that about? Steam from the dead. What happened to them? Yeah.
I asked with a stern voice what had happened to the men. The old woman cackled and said that they had played with fire. When Philip asked that she should, by God, answer my question, she became serious. She told him that these men were poachers caught by the Earl's men hunting in his forests. Philip rode on, and when I caught up with him, I could see that now, more than ever, he was determined to talk to Percy Hamley.
Exactly. Because you won't even let the guys feed themselves. They have to be completely dependent on whoever's in charge. Sad, sad days.
Aliena rode by my side without knowing that I had long been responsible for her family's fate. Ever since I had made the mistake of trusting Waileran by God. I felt like a fly in a cobweb. Every move I made seemed to lead to further calamities. But then I heard Aliena as she sped past me. "Shiring," she exclaimed.
We are there. You did your best to finish the Corbel. Alfred likes you, but you took revenge on him. Oh, what? Alfred is trying to reclaim the earldom for himself and Aliena. Alfred doesn't like me, does he? Visited Cuthbert and told Brother Arnaldus you will bury him. You destroyed all 3 wasp nests.
This is him.
A face like that never changes. If anyone can get you an audience with the Earl, it's Sheriff Eustace.
Oh,
I
this
hope
guy.
Percy Hamley will show more understanding with us than he did with the people of Wigley. I'm concerned what kind of man Percy Hamley must have become to kill people for mere poaching. Good day, Sheriff. I must talk to the Earl. It's a legal matter of utmost urgency.
Get in line, monk.
Are they all waiting to see him?
What did you expect on court day, monk?
There's one chill
I
pig
fear
that guy
this
has.
is going to take a while.
I'll go look for Richard. Seeing that he's going into battle, he needs equipment.
In the meantime, let's hope I can persuade the Earl to rethink this breach of our agreement.
I'll talk to Meg about the sales of the Priory's wool as well. We will find a way to keep the cathedral's construction going, Philip, with or without the stone and timber they took from us.
We must.
And Richard asked for money. Now where is he? Guess we're playing as Aliena. Alright. I'll wait to see the Earl. Court day. They don't look very confident.
If they hadn't replaced Father, I could have helped them.
Oh well.
Repent!
I remember him. He should be loyal to my father.
Good day, Sheriff. Will these people have to wait much longer?
If you have a complaint, talk to the Earl.
I don't think he even recognizes me anymore.
Well, you have grown up, girl. Okay, enough of me gushing over Aliena. He's tense, prefers life in the Priory, not meeting earls, yet his sense of duty compels him.
As it is written in the book of Matthew.
Has the queue not moved at all?
We stand like pillars of salt. But I'm sure the Earl will accept petitioners soon. I hope it's before the workers at Kingsbridge leave the construction site because I cannot pay them.
So let's see. Prophet. Everyone seems to ignore him, even the sheriff. Wonder why. Let's listen.
The end is upon us, but our Earl will lead us to salvation.
Is that so?
A hard hand for hard times. It will all make sense. You will see.
Boy, are you a crazy man. Poor man, apathetic.
Open your eyes.
Reminds me of
The
father.
signs are all around us.
Oof. See, other merchants offer cloth and felt, sell for higher prices, easier to transport,
Our food is rotting.
but fulling wool is tough and expensive.
Dying. Our homes crumbling.
And there's Meg, our business partner in Shiring. Wouldn't be in the strait without her.
How many of you have fallen from grace?
taking my business elsewhere.
Good to see you, Meg. I'm here to collect the money we've made so far.
Excuse me. We were in the middle of something.
What's the problem?
Even you merchants have become thieves. What a rotten place this has become.
He ordered the cartload of wool weeks ago, but now he refuses to pay the price we'd agreed upon.
Why you do that? Diplomatic.
Let's think about why the prices are so high this year.
So you can put more money into your pockets?
Actually, the Earl has raised all fees. It costs more to pass the gate, to set up shop, to get a license, and to trade.
I suppose. But the price is not as was agreed.
Did you use a tally to record the price?
But, are you with the sheriff? Just who are you, woman?
I am the owner of this business.
Oh.
Here's our Harfaliena.
Now, would you kindly hand me your part of the tally?
Address problem.
There are more notches on our part.
2 pieces, 2 different prices.
Granted, adding notches to our part would have been much easier.
Uh-huh. You're admitting it.
But the area with missing notches is thinner than the rest.
You're right. It looks like something was carved off.
That's interesting.
What? Are you saying I'm a fraud?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you out, bro.
Times are hard for all of us. I won't report you to the sheriff.
This wool will not make enough cloth for all of my master's servants' clothes. Let alone all the shirts he wants for himself.
Whoever pays servants and wants to wear many shirts should be able to pay the price for quality wool like this.
Quality? Yes, but it is not high quality. Now that you mention it, I see it. I cannot pay that much money for bad wool like this.
Now he's doubting the quality.
Fine. Then let me prove the quality of my wool.
Just you try.
Piece of wool was selling. Good quality.
Daylight robbery.
We
So
agreed
how-
on the price.
How will we prove the quality of this wool? I guess we'll find out next time on Let's Play The Pillars of the
Let us
Earth.
work out.
Thank you for watching and have a good day.
I thought you had more to spare